When was the last time you consciously made an effort to learn something? If you're an adult, chances are it's been quite a while. Once you've finished your schooling, whether that was high school, college, or even a trade school, it probably felt like a relief. You did what you had to do, what society and your parents required of you, and now the pressure is off. You don't have to focus on cramming information into your head for quizzes, exams, and the like anymore. While it's true that exams become a thing of the past once you're outside the school system, I think many of us took the wrong lessons from our student years. In fact, the older I get, the more I come to understand that our student years should never truly end. Instead, we should go from being students in school to becoming students of life. If you haven't reached a certain point in your life, you're probably a little confused about that statement. Being a student sucked. Why would I choose to be one for my entire life? Well, I've been thinking about it quite a lot lately, and I think I have it all figured out. So let's talk about it. First of all, I cannot tell you everything that I've learned so far. It's just too much. However, I can tell you that there is at least one thing in this world that I have yet to learn about. You may be thinking, duh, of course there's always one more thing to learn. There's almost an infinite number of things to study and explore. And to that I say, that's exactly my point. As humans on this fascinating planet, why would we give up learning when we don't have to do it anymore? There's always something new you can learn or a new area of life to explore. Learning keeps things interesting. It keeps our brains firing on all cylinders, and it gives us something to work towards. Doesn't this sound preferable to letting our brains rot from lack of use? Learning new things can also reveal new interests to us, showing us new hobbies and activities we can engage with. In turn, these new hobbies might even introduce us to new, more diverse people, potentially even new friends. Joining a group of people who are also students of life can accelerate your learning in that one aspect, much in the same way a study group helped you through a particularly difficult class in school. Also, I don't know about you, but interacting with people and getting information I thought I already knew from a new perspective has been hugely beneficial in my life. Have you ever had someone tell you something over and over again, just drilling information into your head? They could tell you the same thing the same way 100 times, and you either understand the concept the way they explain it, or you don't. When you broaden your horizons, you gain opportunities for new explanations and different ways of thinking that might line up better with how your own brain actually works. Take this idea for instance. You've learned about a concept one way from one person, they explained it to you the same way exactly 100 times. Now someone new comes along and explains that very same concept to you in a way that recontextualizes the knowledge, allowing you to have a better understanding and grasp of the subject. If you're not a student of life in this scenario, things would probably have gone very differently. The second this new person began explaining something that's been shoved into your ears 100 times, you would have either shut down and stopped listening, or you would have just dismissed them, assuming you already knew what they were going to say. You might think that hearing it for the 101st time wouldn't make a difference in your life, but that's the thing. It can, and often it does. Whether it's their unique perspective, the way they use their words, or even just the way they manage to connect with you on a personal level, taking the time to learn things like this from the people around you can open up your mind in ways you never thought were possible. Those of us who are students of life will always take the time to learn as much as we can in any way we can. That drive for learning and knowledge is formed by two very specific goals, which we all share. Become an expert. Become an expert at what? Whatever we happen to be learning about at the time. Consider yourself a novice at all times. But what if it's something you already know a lot about? Well, there's always more to learn in everything. These two goals are obviously a little contradictory, but they're designed that way on purpose. Think about this. What happens when you become an expert? First, you found a concept or a subject you love so much that you completely immerse yourself and learn everything you can about it. But then what happens once you reach the end of that journey? Once you've become an expert in that realm, you lose interest. It's done. Finished. There's nothing left to learn, so you leave it behind you. What a sad, sad day that would be, to walk away from something you once loved learning about. Now, if you consider yourself to be a novice at all times, always seeking more to learn or new angles to understand the things you already know, you maintain that interest, the spark that made you engage with something in the first place. There will always be more meat on the bone, more things to expand your mind with. The novice mindset is just the right way to think, the right way to carry yourself through life. Even if you do know a lot about something you love, to the point that people around you view you as an expert, what do you benefit from that? If you're an expert, then there's nothing else to learn. And who wants to be done with something they love? By striving to become an expert, but staying humble and thinking of yourself as a novice, you can maintain and preserve that sense of wonder you had the first time you learned about something that truly resonated with you. And let me tell you, finding a way to keep that feeling can really change your life. So, I've told you all about the benefits of being a student of life. Sounds pretty simple, no? With just a change of mindset, you can enrich your life almost indefinitely. Considering it's that simple, why aren't more people students of life? Well, I do have an answer for that, but many of you aren't going to like it. Discipline. Choosing to consciously close your mind to knowledge rather than keeping it open as a student of life comes down to a lack of discipline. Crazy, right? It's so simple, but what's even crazier than that is you're probably disciplined in other aspects of your life just fine. You pay your bills on time, you show up when your family needs you, and you're always ready to sit down and binge watch an entire season of your favorite streaming show upon release. Stephen Bartlett is a businessman and podcaster who has actually created a formula for discipline. Discipline equals the importance of a goal or activity plus the psychological enjoyment or fulfillment a person receives in pursuing the goal or activity minus the amount of mental resistance or friction generated by that pursuit. Paying your bills sucks, but it's important, and having electricity and a safe place to live is fantastic. Being there for your family can also suck sometimes, but it's also important, and you probably love them, most of the time at least. Watching a Netflix show for 8 hours straight is dead easy, and it makes you happy, but it's probably not very important. Stephen's formula makes complete sense when it's matched up to these concepts. So now let's use it as the process for becoming a student of life. Becoming a student of life could potentially be important to you, but it probably won't give you much immediate enjoyment or fulfillment. On top of that, it takes a lot of effort to change a closed mindset to one that is open to learning, and even more effort to make that new mindset a constant habit rather than a semi-frequent initiative. From this, it's clear to see that becoming a student of life is unfairly weighed down on the negative side of discipline. It's difficult. This is, of course, dependent on what kind of person you are and how you pursue knowledge. But here are some things you can do to make forming that discipline a little bit easier. Dedicate your first intellectual pursuit to something that is applicable to your life. Pursuing something you have a strong interest in is the best way to make solid progress early on. After that, find something you enjoy. Do you like birds, philosophy, sports, psychology? Whatever it is, take time to learn about it, and then keep learning about it. When that starts to get old, go back and find something else you enjoy and learn about that. Remember, you can always go back to learn more about anything. Find ways to amplify your learning. Does listening to music make things sink in better? Do you learn better outside than you do indoors? Do you prefer to talk things out with like-minded people? Going through this thought process will pay dividends on your learning journey. Also, remember that learning is a verb. It's something you do, and like everything you do, it can and will get better with practice. You just have to put the effort in. If I could share just one more piece of advice with you, let it be this. You'll learn so much more by connecting with the people around you than you will from a YouTube video or even a book on the same subject. The direct exchange of thoughts, information, and knowledge between humans is something that is coming increasingly lost as time goes on, and it's really a shame to see things unfolding that way. So, talk to your neighbors, your family, your friends, learn what they'll share with you, and help them become students of life as well. You can walk very far by yourself, but you can walk even further if someone is there to walk with you. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking it and subscribing to this channel for more content just like this. Also, tell me something you learned about recently in the comments. Let's all do our part to spread some knowledge. See you in the next one.